Hey guys, I hope everybody is doing awesome. Well, something I wanted to comment about. Get these earbuds out of my ear. There we go, so I can hear myself talk. I take a few people mining with me from time to time, usually friends, and sometimes they have their own equipment, so they set up their own sluice box or whatever. They go off and do some metal detecting, and I let them keep what they find because I'm a generous guy. There was one guy who was mining with me who doesn't have his own gear, so I would share my high banker with him. So I'd set up the high banker, even go pick him up at his house and drop him off. And I do that with some of my other friends too, because again, I'm a generous guy. Pick them up in the morning, and then at the end of the mining trip, drop them off at their house. So anyways, this other guy, who will remain nameless, I pick him up, drop him off, we set up the high banker. I have no problem sharing my equipment. So the main thing is, when I team up with somebody on my equipment, with my equipment, my usual goal when I mine, I run about 25 2-gallon size buckets through the high banker. 25 times 2 is 50. You divide that by 5, that's equal to 10 5-gallon size buckets, unclassified, because the high banker doesn't classify. So if 2 people do that, incidentally, 10 5-gallon buckets is equal to about 1/4 of a cubic yard of material. If you have 2 people doing that, teaming up, you can run about a half of a cubic yard, generally in about 3 hours if both people are, moving along. And that's my usual target that I go for. So I don't like to beat myself up too bad. And so anyways, that worked out really good for a while. And then this guy, and bear in mind, I split 50-50, so whatever the clean out is, I cut it in half, which is very generous, right? So you have 2 guys splitting the load, the digging and everything. So this guy would take off while I'm mining. He started going on his own little private missions, grabbing rocks and quartz rocks and serpentine and things of that nature. I went to drop him off one night, and it was dark. I got back kind of late. Wearing my Jeep ZJ. All of a sudden, he opens up the. I didn't even know he did this. He packed my floorboards with rocks. Now I'm talking a couple of rocks. Some of them were huge. When we got in the Jeep, it was dark. I couldn't see what was on the floorboards in the passenger side, so he opens up the door and just starts throwing all these rocks out next to his driveway. I looked at that and I thought, what the hell? Who the hell's going to go and, you invite somebody along as a guest, you're sharing your equipment, you're providing transpo. So he had taken off while I was mining and went off on his own little private mission, grabbing all these rocks, stuffs my floorboards without even asking, and then there was this black smudge on my carpet on the transmission hump. It took some effort to scrub and get off. You know, what the heck? That was the first time. And then, you know, and I'm running my 25 buckets through the high banker. What's he getting through? 6, maybe? You know, 6 buckets? So it became very lopsided. You know, maybe 8 buckets on a good day. But he's still expecting a 50-50 split of the gold, right? And I got no problem splitting 50-50 if somebody's pulling, you know, they're pulling 50% of the weight. So anyways, it was a little bit after that. I didn't say anything, you know, and you know, I'm a pretty nice guy. And then it happened again, but it happened with my Tacoma, which I'm in right now. Filled up my floorboards in the passenger side again, and you know, on the last trip out, you know, he snuck off on his own little mission while I'm mining, and then claims he's worn out. I had no idea he was running rocks, some of them big, up the footpath, which is a pretty good little climb, to the truck, back and forth, back and forth. I mean, it took some effort to run all that snow. It was a lot of rocks. And, you know, some up are 5 pounds at least, maybe 10 pounders in there. Claims he's worn out. God, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm just worn out. You know, got like 6 buckets through the, he only did like 6 buckets, so I ran my usual 25. I think I even ran a few extras that day. And so I stopped bringing him along. I mean, I had to cut him off because it's just lopsided. It's like, you know, if I'm going to do most of the work, I might as well just do it myself and not have to split 50-50 with anybody, right? I mean, after all, we're talking about gold, and the price of gold keeps going up. I mean, it's serious business. It's going to hit some pretty crazy numbers moving forward, you know. You know, I take somebody along, I have no problem splitting 50-50, but, you know, put in 50% of the labor. That's not asking too much. I mean, I would if the situation was reversed. Shit, I'd be there busting ass if I was on somebody's mining property as a guest and had that incentive, you know, a 50-50 split. I'd be digging like a gopher. And there was a couple other things, a couple other issues too, which I'm not going to get into a bunch of detail. That's probably the major stuff right there. But anyways, hit me up down below in the comment section. You know what you think. What would you do in a situation like that? I don't think I'm being unreasonable at all about that. I was actually a nice guy and put up with the whole thing for almost 2 years, and it just kept getting worse and worse. And it just reaches the point where it's like, you know, there's no reason for me to be giving away gold to somebody who's not putting in the, you know, carrying their fair share of the weight. So yeah, hit me up down below. Let me know what you guys, what you guys would do in a situation like that. I apologize for the bumpy road. I'm on the road again, so I want to wave a hand to all of my new subscribers. I don't even promote the channel. It's just a labor of love. It's not monetized. If there are commercials there, that's YouTube's doing. It has nothing to do with me. I've never monetized the channel. I don't make any money off of it. It's just something I do for fun, something I like to do. It's strictly a labor of love, but it is growing slowly. I don't promote it at all. And so I want to wave a hand at all of my new subscribers. I'm flattered that you find something interesting enough on the channel to hit the subscribe button. And of course, I want to wave a hand at all of my old subscribers. I know some of you personally have become friends of mine, and I appreciate you hanging around. And stay tuned for more stuff in the future. interests, so it's not just strictly bushcraft, which I'll get back to doing some of that when the time is right. But I've really turned my attention more towards the gold mining. The prices are, I've heard some crazy predictions from financial analysts that the prices are going to be crazy, absolutely crazy. I've heard $10,000, $15,000 an ounce in the future at some point. We should see $4,000 an ounce by Q1 of next year, or pretty close to it. So that's kind of my main focus. I'm getting older, so I'm kind of, shading my eyes and looking down the road towards retirement. So you start getting more conscious of that sort of thing the older you get. So I'm pushing 60 years of age. I'm in pretty fair shape for my age, but the years are there, unfortunately. None of us are getting any younger. So anyways, everybody have a good day or night wherever you're located at, and I'll see you very soon on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.